another concern I had with like the plane idea is like, oh my gosh, but like, what if next year you get canceled, right? And now you have a plane and that liability. Does that ever cross your mind?
Oh
that,
my
like,
God, all the time.
Because it could all just go away tomorrow.
You don't realize how fast things could change. And, I don't want to go into examples, but I've had probably 3 times throughout the last few years that I could think of where I thought this is it. Oh. And it's just, but it's insane how quickly things could change. Like people will love you one day and one comment or one thing comes up and it's tide turns. Yeah. And there's very much a ripple effect where it's like you say the wrong thing and then people have to disassociate themselves because then it reflects on them. And in a way it's like, I get it. If let's say, I'm not accusing you of it, but let's just say something comes out with you. Sure. And, Kevin's made out to be the bad guy. We would almost have to disassociate ourselves because if we work together, then it's like, well, you're supporting someone who did this or said this, even if you're not guilty of it, even if it's just an accusation. I disagree with it. Does that matter if the public perception says otherwise? If everyone believes something to be true, even if it's not, do I want to insert myself there and say, well, and that becomes the balance. It's like, what's worth fighting for, what's not? And yeah,
I had this really good, in my opinion, video that I spent days on making, and it was everything about my campaign platform. And I've had B-roll in it about what's wrong with California's water situation or homeless situation or whatever. The video was about 45 minutes long, and I think it was one of my best in terms of the problems and solutions for California. But one little part of it made a reference. It had B-roll of the homeless issue in California, and Ben Shapiro talking about how bad the homeless problem is in California. Yeah. He was right about everything he said about the homeless problem, and the B-roll was perfect. That one clip made a lot of folks think that, Kevin supports Ben Shapiro. We can't vote for him because we don't like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what he said was about homelessness, and he was right about what he said. Don't you agree? Don't care. I hate Ben, therefore I hate you.
Yeah, it's scary, honestly. And, I've talked to Jack about this too. It's just like, it's always the things like you're very careful. Like, I am so careful. Even, I'll be honest, like even something, having a drink. This is one of the few times I've ever been on camera drinking anything. I don't swear. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I script everything I say. So it's, I'm really careful about what I say and what I want to put out there. And I'm thinking, can someone misinterpret this? And as careful as you could be, sometimes the thing you'd never even think would be an issue is an issue. And it's like, well, I didn't mean it that way. That wasn't my intention, but I could see how someone could perceive it that way. And it is what it is. So I've basically taken the approach that like every month, I'm just month by month at this point. It's like every month, you could be perfect.
Be thankful for what happened. Okay.
Yeah. So like mentally I'm preparing myself for like, and I hate to like ever will something into existence, but I never want to think of something like, oh, I screwed this up. But, I just always think to myself, I'm really grateful for where I've gone so far. I've gone way further than I ever would have expected. And if something were to happen, I'd be really happy with the point up until
what
then.
You've done. That's a good point.
Right.
It's like you're reaching like checkpoints in a game and you're saving your progress, and like I did really well to that point of the game.
But that's why I've saved everything.
You die here, it's fine.
But that's why I've saved everything. It's because I know, one thing or guilty or not, one thing could everything could stop.
So what about if you had to start over? Let's just say you or I or both of us got canceled or whatever. Like we got canceled over this interview or whatever. Both of us. Would you start over? Or would you just, that's fine, I'll take my dollars, throw it into, a dividend stock and just...
Depends. I think it depends on what it would be and how bad it would be. I mean, I would hope that there would be...
Like you're deleted from YouTube is the scenario. You got deleted from YouTube. Okay, just...
it's funny. I did a podcast with Ryan Pineda, and he asked me, like, if you're not doing YouTube, what would you do right now? Okay. And I said music.
Oh, wow.
So I do music.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
really,
as a passion project or to like really try to make money?
I can't do anything without the purpose of making money behind it. So I find a way to make money from it.
Good.
But I would be doing music.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, music and coffee.
Music and coffee, yeah.
The brand survives.
Yeah, I do music.
What about you?
If I got canceled?
Yeah.
Well, I'd still have to work. I'm not quite at that point yet where I would just chill. But I'd probably reach out to Andre and be like, yo, Andre, you need some help?
Find another job. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Find another job or something like that. Or just do my own. Well, actually, no.
Why didn't you say Kevin?
Well, because you got canceled.
As in
We're
the
all
scenario.
canceled.
Jack, you know what? Who would be worse to get canceled? Well,
Who would be worse?
yeah,
You.
because
like
I was about to say, like, if you got canceled, I couldn't.
need this more probably.
But like I couldn't do the podcast without you. I mean, that would be the thing. And then I don't know.
If you got
couldn't
canceled,
do that.
I would probably call up Nate O'Brien and I'd be like, man, please join me.
He's like, nah, sorry, man. I'm only posting once every other month.
Yeah.
He's got a great lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
So
I look up to
we
him.
went to Vegas with him at this point years ago. It was 18 or 19 or something. Maybe it was in 2018. I remember walking with him. It was ice cold outside too, but he was so happy, and he was just so carefree, which was so wonderful because he had no stress at all in his life, and just it's like, yeah, I post what I want, and I'm like, well, so you don't have a schedule? No. Yeah. Well, what do you do? Oh, I just travel with my car and I go places and do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I wish I
But
could
you-
do that.
but
And
you know
I
what?
can, but I don't.
But you know what? The thing is, I don't think you wouldn't be happy with that. Nate would hate your life.
Oh,
He
yeah.
would
He
hate
would
it.
hate
The
it.
schedule,
Yeah.
the constant responsibilities. I've seen like what he's about. He loves the no obligation, and I envy him too. I'm like, he has all of his stuff in it basically he could fit in the back of his car, and that's it. That's
jealous.
all of the stuff he has. It's not complicated, and he
love
could go
that.
anywhere at any time. But I don't think I would be happy with that of not having that strict schedule, having that obligate. Like I like that to go back to.
So almost like a different definition of happiness for everyone.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I think all of us would like to be Nate.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we would be happy with being Nate for more than like a few days at a time.
Okay.
I think it's a different type of happiness because when I talk to Nate, like off camera and everything, he is, like you said, the most chill person,
Yes.
and he seems so happy and just stress free at all times. But then sometimes I'll talk to other people, like I'll talk to you off camera and stuff like that, and you're stressed out sometimes. And
Oh
you're
my God,
unhappy
all of it.
sometimes.
Yeah,
all the
sometimes
time.
So, like-
all of us. All
So
the
like
time,
you could
yeah.
say that every person has their own idea of what happiness is, but I also think that like there is a really I think there is an objective truth to balancing work and life.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's the balance, right?
Right, and it's just tough to find that balance. And also, there was another thing I wanted to point out. But it was I think that it would be really tough for you guys to get canceled, because
wow.
I think the people that consume finance content, all that they care about is your credibility. Of the credibility of what you're saying, right? So like, for example, if you guys did like something sketchy, like fraud, or you guys were sellouts, or you guys pumped something like that, that could cancel you
Yeah,
guys.
I
Like
agree.
a
But as
coin,
far-
right? Like you made a
Exactly.
coin
Yeah.
and you frauded everyone.
Exactly,
right?
but I think
Yeah.
you guys are way too smart to do something like that
to
and
even
just
go there,
moral. But as far as like saying something maybe like not so PC or something like that,
Oh.
I honestly think people would not cancel you because they're here for the information more than they're here for like the personality, just in general.
Oh, that's an interesting
So
POV.
It makes sense. But but sometimes you don't know exactly. Like seeing
Ellen get canceled. That was
she got canceled.
oh, you haven't seen that? That was big for mistreatment of employees.
Oh, I heard about that. I never really liked
And
it.
she stepped away from her show. I mean, she said she was gonna. I'm sure she was gonna do it anyway at some
Yeah.
point. But it's like, well, if I do it now or 5 years, I may as well just do
Right.
it now.
Yeah.
Or like I mean, I don't know enough about this to really go deep in it, but even like Andrew Cuomo, like, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like both of the Cuomos,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Like
True.
one's got a solid gig at CNN, the other one's got he's well in politics and well established in politics,
Right.
and then just to go from like, and honestly, people would watch Andrew Cuomo and his COVID briefings. During the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know if you guys did, but like March and April and May of the beginning of the pandemic, I remember Lauren and I would be like, oh, what's Andrew Cuomo got to say? Because like New York was like the epicenter. It was like, I remember when I lived in Florida listening to like the hurricane forecasters. Okay, it's now Category 5. It should make landfall at 7 a.m. And like getting that up to the minute update was always so like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I remember watching him and I thought his briefings were good. I mean, obviously now in hindsight, we're like, okay, some things maybe weren't the best. But, and again, I'm not trying to get political on the podcast, but just to think that you could be at such a place where people are watching you and care about what you say and then literally now fired from CNN.
But the thing is, it's a herd mentality too. It's if everyone else hates him or her or whoever it is, then you should too. And what's
Well, they
crazy
can
is that
villainize you if you support them.
That's right.
Right. But it's I've noticed too, and you know this as well on YouTube. It's if there's good information or if there's something positive, people won't watch it. If it's negative, people will watch it. If there's drama, they'll watch it even more. And so some of our most viewed videos, unfortunately, they're the videos with drama, or they have some sort of emotional spike in the video. It's like, what did this person say to this person? Why are they angry? Why don't they like this person? And it's something that I think people inherently get really invested in that.
That's true.
And opinions are really hard to change. Like it could be, you could have a positive opinion. It's hard to change a negative opinion about someone.